very self-centered, and sometimes he identifies himself with Jesus, you know. So he has high thoughts about himself, but he's also this kind of strange character, you know, and very charismatic. So people are a bit afraid of him and think he's kind of strange, but still they also are drawn into him, you know. They think he is very good looking and a wonderful man. And they are shocked he walks around the city not in his priest's robe, but with hunters, you know, boots, and you know. So he's a character. He comes to Røros, and he meets Ole Kanelsa, or Ole Corneliusen, and he is the church servant in the church, and he is also a blacksmith. And he is also a fiddle player, and that's that tradition. The blacksmiths were also fiddle players. And Ol Kanelsa says to Benjamin that there is going to be a marriage, and it's my niece, and she's forced to marry David, but she doesn't love him. And so I ask you, do not perform this marriage because she doesn't love him. But Benjamin says, no, of course we have to do this, you know. But if the family decides, you know, we will go on. And then he sees this beautiful young woman out in the streets, Benjamin, and he can't forget her. He immediately falls in love. It's the most beautiful girl he's ever seen. And then, a few days later, in the church, he goes up and he's going to perform this marriage, and it's that girl, you know, that he has fallen in love with. He is now performing a marriage. Her marriage to a man that she doesn't love. And she becomes unhappy in her marriage, and his marriage, Benjamin's, isn't so much to brag about either. But they are drawn to each other, and they cannot force their feelings. So they eventually have a love relationship. And of course it's a scandal, you know, the priest, you know, having an affair with a married woman. And after a while, everybody knows about it. And David, the husband of Gunhild is the name of the girl, he is in such despair. And then she after a while, she has a baby. And David thinks that maybe this baby is actually the priest's, you know, that he is the father. So it ends with David taking his own life. And Katrine, the wife of the priest, she has been lung sick and tuberculosis, and she dies, maybe most of grief or sorrow, because she has lived in a loveless marriage. And the scandal is complete, and Gunhild and Benjamin are outcasts in the community. Nobody wants to have anything to do with them. And Gunhild, she is so affected and has so much grief, and so she cannot take care of her little child, her little daughter. So her uncle, Ole Kanelsa, the blacksmith, takes care of her. And he sees that she cannot live without Benjamin. So to save her life almost, to say that, you know, he sees that she has to meet the priest one more time. And there have been many, many years. And finally, they meet. And the love is still as strong as when they broke up, you know. But then Benjamin is also sick and old, but they decide that, you know, they will marry and they will live together. And that night he dies. But then Gunhild has met him again and confirmed her love and her feelings, and she's stronger, so she can take care of her child and go on living. So that's the story. So it's a beautiful story, and it can be said anywhere. So how do you start to write an opera? I mean, where to begin? It's of course very, very difficult with such a great subject. So what I did was that I went to Røros, to Bergstaden, in the middle of the winter, and I decided to experience the cold experience, the snow, the ice, the night, the church bells. So I went around at night and recorded all the sounds, all the eyes, the bells. So I had a lot of material, and I thought I have to start somewhere. So I went to an electronic studio, and I put all the sounds in a computer, and out came all these notes. So I thought, okay, now I have something that I can start to work with, and then I can maybe see if I can compose abstract kind of setting of that wonderful nature, that wonderful ice, that wonderful cold. So I should have had a piano, but I have recorded it. So you can hear the notes that I got out from this. This is actually from the bells of Røros Church. And so it's the natural, one note consists of a lot of partial notes, So it's all the natural kind of notes within the sound of the church. And these are the notes played on the piano.